गंधाविक गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। Nitya, all the associates of Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaur Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Saptan Goswami Bhakti Bhagirati Srila Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Jai. Tadya Shubha Tirubha Titi ki jai. Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Jai Nityal Pravishta Shri Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Shri Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityal Pravishta Shri Bhakti Dait Madhav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Shila Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Shila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Swaparshad Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Srila Baladev Vibhushan Prabhu ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosai Pad ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shad Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. नामचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री गदाधर पंडित की जय। जय श्री गदाधर पंडित की जय। तदीय शुभ तिरुवाव तिथि की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय जय श्री गदाधर पंडित की जय। गदाधर भिन्न तनु श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। Let's do a Mangala Charan and then we will begin our program. Where is it? How come it's not coming up? Preview is not responding. Oh, God, that's so frustrating. Let me close it and try opening it again. Sorry, guys. Anyways, you know the beginning pranam mantras. I'll just start. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Kodiya Gurvanvaye Bhatto Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Mayavarati Mingilo Daragatan Udrita Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdi Kahana Sukham Pradat Prabhum Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatanu Yamuna Tatanagarananda Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparam Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunjavidum Smara Gaura Gadadhara Kelikalam Bhava Gaura Gadadhara Pakshachara Shrinu Gaura Gadadhara Charukatham Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunjavidum Tvaivasmi, Tvaivasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya devi tvam, nayamam charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay, kshiptascha kama dittaranga madhye, kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna, vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's recite some pranam mantras for Gadadhar Pandit. 1 second. Let me open up. Shoot, 1 second. We can look at the Gaudiya Giti Gucha. It's actually just working on the Panchatattva section, which has Gadadhar Pandit pranam mantras. Let's see. 1 second. Let me just find there. Okay. Gadadaram aham vande madhvacharya nandanam mahabhava sarupam shri chaitanya bhinnarupinam. I offer obeisances, I offer obeisances to Śrī Gadādhara Pandit, the son of Madhvacharya, who is the very embodiment of Mahabhav, and whose form is non-different from that of Śrī Chaitanya. Shīladini Sarupaya Gauranga Suhridaya Cha Bhakta Shakti Pradhanaya Gadadhara Namostute. I offer pranam to you, Gadadhar Pandit, the very embodiment of the Hladini Shakti and Gauranga's beloved friend who bestows spiritual strength to the devotees. Gandharvika Sarupaya Gauranga Prema Sampade Gadādharaya me nityang namostu he kripalave. He who is Gandharvika herself and whose sole treasure is prem for Gauranga, unto that compassionate Gadadhar Pandit I continually offer my obeisance. Jai Śrī Gadādhara Pandit ki jai. Oh, and we didn't read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, the meaning of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Pranam Mantra, which we've been reciting every day for quite a while now. Let's just look at it now. So, this is written by Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Shrira Goswami Maharaj. She says, I offer obeisance to Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, the personal manifestation of Gaur Shakti. The personal manifestation of Gaur Shakti, the emperor among all knowers of the scriptures, and an nectarian ocean of Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim. I offer pranam to you, Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, the foremost of Rupanugas, and the personal manifestation of Śrī Gauranga Shakti Gadādhara Pandit. Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. All right, so let's see who is here. Dandavat Pranams, Niri Hari Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, and Sarveshwari Mataji, and all devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. I see so far there are 8 devotees there. I don't see anybody's names though. I only see the names of those people who write comments. So far I only see Ganga Mataji. Dandavat Pranams, Ganga Mataji. And also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayade Prabhu, Revati Didi. Yeah, but please, if you don't mind, please leave a comment so that I can see who's here. All right, so today is such an overwhelming day. It's like, how do we properly honor it? Actually, I'm writing a post right now for my website, Vine of Devotion. That's the first sentence I wrote. Is like, how do we even begin to honor this day of Gadadhar Pandit and Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura? And today this morning I was working on writing this announcement post that I'm going to be sending on my website soon, Vine of Devotion. It's announcing the retreat that we're going to be doing in Godrum, probably in Surabhi Kunj, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's own home, a full immersion retreat from morning till night. It'll just be focused solely on Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, his glories, his teachings, and there's going to be courses that are led by Sundar Gopal, myself, Manjari Didi, Chandramukhi Didi, and other devotees also will be. Maybe at the end of this session, I can read out what I wrote, like the draft at least. My mind is, I don't have any idea, no clue what we're going to do in this program. But I mean, there's so much to read, so many articles, so many songs, so many, so we won't have trouble finding anything, but I still don't know what yet. Yeah. And, oh, Haribo, Raseshwari Mataji. Haribo. But sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was just in the middle of trying to get this ready because I need to send it out to the rest of the team who's organizing this retreat. And then some people wrote feedback, and then I responded to that feedback and I gave more suggestions. And right now, as like I'm looking on WhatsApp and there's people responding to the things I wrote, and I'm itching to look at it right now, but I need to keep my mind focused. But yeah, just yeah, anyways, I'll be posting this very soon this morning after I look at everybody's feedback. It's difficult when I'm working with people in the other side of the world. Right now, it's late at night for them. So I kind of need to finalize everything now. And so that's why, yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm talking way too much. Let's start. Oh, Haribo Rukmini Didi. Hare Krishna. Maybe I need it for myself because my mind is right now just thinking about the post I'm writing. So I think maybe just to like focus my mind and clear everything, maybe we can start with singing a couple kirtans. What would be a nice, maybe we can sing. There's the Bhaktivinoda Dashakam. That's nice. Let's start with the Bhaktivinoda Dashakam, and then maybe we can sing Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's song about Gadādhara Paṇḍita, Ha Ha Mor Gora Kishore. And then at the end of the program, we can sing more kirtans. Like it'd be nice to sing the Gadādhara Ashtakam by Swarup Damodar Goswami. And also there's a beautiful song, Kota Bhaktivinoda Śrī Gadādhara Paṇḍita. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, 1 second. Let me just get a mridanga. Wait 1 second. I'm at Kishore and Jayashree's place right now, and yeah, he has so many mridangas, but there's only one that wasn't planned. Okay. Oh, Haribo Rasapriya Didi. Hare Krishna. All right. Let me turn. Okay, so where is the Bhaktivinoda Dashakam? It should be in Raise of the Harmonist. The issue that came out in 2014, I think. Yes, here it is. Open with, okay. Yeah, this magazine, if you want nice things to read about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura today, I highly recommend you download this. You can download it for free. Just go into, if you just go into Google and you type in Raise of the Harmonist and write 2014, I'm pretty sure it will come up. Or you could even write Bhaktivinoda, Raise of the Harmonist, 2014. Then it should definitely come up, this issue. Actually, I like to read the editorial. The editorials are always nice, and the beginnings are Raise of the Harmonist. So, it was from the lips of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. Wait. 1 second. Let me just turn off the sound for musicians. Okay. It was from the lotus lips of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, the master of the Gaudiyas, the emperor of Bhakti Siddhanta, and the second manifestation of Sriman Mahaprabhu himself, that we first heard the name Bhaktivinoda. From the great ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Dev, he extracted the wealth of Bhaktivinoda. Like, it's lowercase, italicized. It's not literally Bhaktivinoda, meaning both, double meaning. But he extracted the wealth of Bhaktivinoda, giving delight to Shri Radha Krishna, and presented it to the world. And this is from the Sri Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natak, 810, says, Shashvar Bhakti Vinodaya Shamadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Shri Chaitanya, I think it's not. Let me try it again. Shashvar Bhakti Vinodaya Shamadaya Madhurya Shamadaya Madhurya Daya Shri Chaitanya Daya Nidhe Tava Daya Bhuyad Amundadaya. Oh, I was thinking this looks familiar. The reason why I was getting this confused, this is supposed to be on 2 lines, not 4 lines. But it's, yeah. We're actually including this in the songbook. It's a beautiful verse. From this verse, we can understand that it is Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura who is the unparalleled embodiment of the mercy potency, the Kripa Shakti of the ocean of great compassion, Sri Chaitanya Dev. As such, he bestowed Amanda Doya all-expansive mercy replete with unending goodness. Among all the qualities of Sri Krishna, the quality of Doya is splendorous, like the jewel in the emerald. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is that jewel. He caused, in the desert of this world, the flow of thousands of currents of the Mandakini, of the Ganga, of Doya, which the thirsty jivas can drink for unlimited period of time. By drowning in this Ganga of mercy, one never attains an insignificant result. Rather, he attains the nature of Satchid Ananda, eternality, knowledge, and bliss. That's why we say, always when we say Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's name, we say Satchid Ananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. And this whole magazine has articles from our acharyas explaining this. Why do we say Satchid Ananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura? It really emphasizes this point about how, yeah, okay. So, oops, my computer's freaking out. Okay, it's not letting me. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. It's frozen, my computer. Okay. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, as the embodiment of mercy, of the mercy potency, perpetually gives delight to bhakti, bhakti vinodan. His pastime of bhakti vinodan, of giving delight to bhakti, was to inspire a multitude of jivas to discover their constitutional nature and thus submerge them in the bliss of Krishna Prem. It was by this mercy potency that the living entities became devoid of desires other than to serve Krishna, intoxicating them in the madness of separation from Krishna. This mercy potency bestowed upon them the clue to search for the highest limit of madhurya in the ocean of anarpita unnata ujjvala rasamrita, attained by the process of performing kirtan of the conclusive truths of bhakti, bhakti siddhanta. This is really following in the style of Srila Param Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj also, but Param Gurudev especially, it always, actually Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada also, our acharyas, they always explain everything in a very, like with double meanings like that. So, erudite Vaishnavas thus address Srila Thakur as Satchid Ananda Bhakti Vinod, having accepted him as a personal associate of Mahaprabhu, and regarding him as best among the followers of Sri Swarup Damodar, the examiner of Bhakti Siddhanta. The learned thus revere Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura as the Sat Siddhanta Acharya, he whose philosophical conclusions are flawless and free from faults such as rasabhas, which is antagonistic to Bhakti Siddhanta. In regard to his activities of Bhakti Vinodan, giving delight to Shuddha Bhakti Ras, learned persons have also noted that he was enraptured in his constant endeavor to search Krishna. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is known as Satchid Ananda because he dispels the experience of mundane happiness in a world that is spiritually unconscious by distributing Sri Chaitanya, that means divine consciousness. He thus bequeathed upon the inhabitants of this world the unwavering quest to seek realization of Satchid Ananda. In present times, the Prakrit Sahajya Sampradaya, due to their offensive mentality, cannot comprehend the speciality of the practice and precepts of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Since they consider him to be immortal like they are, they remain unable to accept the actual process instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can appreciate that within 100 years of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's disappearance, his predictions and wishes have come to pass. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had stated, Prithivite ache jata nagaradi gram, sarvata prachar hoibe mor nam. He said that in every town and village, the chanting of my name will be heard. That's in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda 4:126. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura said, unarguably, this order will very soon materialize. There is no doubt about this. He further predicted, when all the world's religions mature, they will transform into a single religion of Nam Sankirtan. This will certainly come to pass. Generally, not just in worldly society, but in Vaishnava society as well, a great personality's centennial appearance anniversary is celebrated. But celebration of their disappearance centennial is not commonly seen. At the same time, the scripture states, Hari Guru Vaishnav Tiner Smaran Hoy Vigna Vinashan. By remembering all three, Hari, Guru, and Vaishnav, one's obstacles on the path of bhakti are dispelled. And Vaishnaver Gungan Korile Jiver Tran. By glorifying the qualities of the Vaishnavas, the living entity attains deliverance from the bondage of material existence. Our Vaishnavacharyas have also demonstrated that any time, place, or circumstance is appropriate to glorify the Lord and his devotees. It can be observed that in Vaishnava Sampradayas, some Vaishnavas are conventional. Their teachings and approach upholds the age-old traditions of the Sampradaya and maintain the madhurya, the sweetness, of the Sampradaya's line of thought. And some Vaishnavas are unconventional in their method of propagating the divine message of the Lord and his devotees. They manifest audarya, magnanimity, being completely innovative in their way of propagating the precepts of bhakti far and wide. In the 100 years since the disappearance of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura from 1914 to 2014, we have seen that the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu successfully propagated worldwide by unconventional teachers in the Bhaktivinoda Dhara, the line that follows the current of the conceptions of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada and his disciples and grand-disciples, especially Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, have spread the message of Sriman Mahaprabhu throughout all the towns and villages of the world, thus manifesting the mood of unparalleled magnanimity toward all jivas. The personal practices of these unconventional teachers have also been conventional and in strict accordance with the previous acharyas in their line. Thus, they were rich in the experience of the Sampradaya's madhurya. On the strength of the causeless mercy and blessings of Śrī Guru and Śrī Guru Parampara, and with the understanding that Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura and his associates are pleased with any tiny attempt to glorify Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, we are herein attempting to glorify him. In this way, we hope to attract their continuous grace. The spirit of this editorial is adapted from the writings of the disciples of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada. That's a very important thing to remember on this day, though, that Śrīla Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura and his associates are pleased with any tiny attempt to glorify Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. If we really want to make them happy, then there's no better way, really, than to glorify Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. This is how we can get the mercy of Śrīla Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada and all the acharyas following him in his line, because their very lives, everything was completely made from the words of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Like they are embodying Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words. And when we follow that, there's nothing can make them more happy. That's why they came to this world. So, okay. And it's in Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's name, Bhakti Vinod, giving delight to bhakti. So everything, anyways, I'm going to stop. So this is written by Bhakti Deshik Acharya Maharaj. For some reason, my computer is not letting me. Oh God, this is so frustrating. I wonder if it keeps on freezing. This anyhow. Let's see. Hopefully, it'll stop doing that now. Maybe I'll read the translation and then we can sing the song just so that we know what we're reading. So, he is the mercy incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Dev, the unending and ever-increasing ocean of compassion. And he is the embodiment of the very potency of Śrī Gadādhara. Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, again become visible to my eyes? Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, who is the dearmost follower of Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, who is one at heart with Śrīla Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, and who is composed of Śrī Gadādhara's compassion, forever be held within my remembrance? One second. Okay. Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, who, by his personal conduct, established the ideal method of widely broadcasting the chanting of the holy name, which is a wish-fulfilling gem, forever remain within the temple of my memory? Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, who manifested the glories of Śrī Harinam free from offenses, and who thus bestowed the greatest benevolence upon the living entities, forever alight the throne of my remembrance? You know, this song is in the Gaudiya Giti Gutra now. So actually, so that let me just open it there. Then it'll be more smooth. One second. We also fixed up the translation a bit, I think. There it is. Okay. So, as he revealed the hidden appearance place of Śrī Gadādhara, the saints danced with joy, whereas the miscreants displayed their dance of wickedness. Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, who is Śrī Gadādhara's personal associate, forever become the object of my remembrance? He has delivered the entire world by casting away all obstacles on the path of bhakti and bringing forth the Ganga current of bhakti. Will that divine personality, Bhakti Bhagirath, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, forever become the object of my meditation? And just as King Bhagirath brought the Ganga to this world to deliver his ancestors, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, no, this footnote was, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura re-brought the current of pure bhakti for the benefit of all souls. He propagated the message of Śrī Chaitanya throughout the whole world. He proclaims the glories of Śrī Guru and Vaishnavas, and he demonstrated the ideal in the matter of chanting Śrī Nam. Will I forever remember that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, within my heart? He embodies Prayojan Tattva, and he is accompanied by Śrīla Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, who embodies Sambandha Tattva, along with Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, who embodies Abhideya Tattva. Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, forever enter my heart? And there's a footnote here. It says, the ultimate goal, the prayojan, is bhakti vinodan, to give delight, to give vinod to Bhakti Devi, Shrimati Radhika. Our relationship, our sambandha, is with the youthful Gaur Hari, Gaur Kishore. And our process, the abhideya, is to follow Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, or the Vani that embodies the conclusive truth, the Siddhanta of devotional service, bhakti. So this verse has a double meaning there. Then by publishing Śrī Chaitanya Shikshamrita, Śrī Sajantoshani, Śrī Harinam Chintamani, and Jaiva Dharma, he distributed spiritual consciousness. Chaitanya, or Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he distributed that to all living entities. Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, be held within my heart? On the dark moon day of the month of Ashad, which is now, today, he whose form is none different from Śrī Gadādhara Paṇḍita, the potency of Śrī Gaurahari, gave up his pastimes in this material world on the very same day that Śrī Gadādhara Paṇḍita gave up his worldly pastimes. Will that divine personality, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, ever again come before our vision? There's also the very beautiful, what is it? The Bhaktivinoda Viraha something Dashakam by Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Goswami Maharaj. I just chose this because it's shorter, but that one is so beautiful. And also, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada himself was so, there's a pastime behind it, but he was, I forgot the details, but he really deeply appreciated it. And he glorified Śrīla Goswami Maharaj. I forgot exactly what he said though, unfortunately. But yeah, it's very special also. Maybe we can sing that tomorrow. Okay. 1 second, let me just fix the sound so you can hear the mridanga. Amanda karunya guna karashi Chaitanya devasya dayavatara Shri Gora Shaktir Bhavita Punakim Padam Drishor Bhakti Vinora Deva Shrimad Jagannatha Prabhu Priyoya Ekatmako Gora Kishora Kena Shri Gora Karunya Mayo Bhavet Nityam Smrito Bhakti Vinora Deva Ashinama Chintamani Sampracharar Adarshamachara Vidodadoya Sajagaruka Smriti Mandire Kim Nityam Bhaver Bhakti Vinora Deva Nama Paradhai Rahitasya Namno Mahatma Jatam Prakatam Vidhaya Jive Dayalur Bhavita Smrito Kim Kritasano Bhakti Vinora Deva Gaurasya Gura Prakatalayasya Sato Sato Harsha Kunatya Yoshta Prakashako Gora Jano Bhavet Kim Smrityaspadam Bhakti Vinora Deva Anirasya Vignan Iha Bhakti Ganga Pravahane Nodrita Sarvaloka Bhagirato Nitya Diyang Padam Kim Bhaviraso Bhakti Vinora Deva Vishveshu Chaitanya Katha Prachari Mahatma Shanksi Guru Vaishnavanam Nama Graha Darsha Iha Smrita Kim Chitte Bhaver Bhakti Vinora Deva Prayojanang San Abhideya Bhakti Siddhanta Vanya Samam Atra Gora Kishora Sambandha Yuto Bhavet Kim Chittam Gato Bhakti Vinora Deva Shikshamritam Sajjana Toshaning Cha Chintamaniṃ chatra sajaivadarmya prakashya chaitanya pradobhavet kim chitte dhrito bhakti vinoradeva asharadarshe hani gora shakti gadadhara bhinna tanurjahoya prapancha lila mihano bhavet kim drishya punar bhakti vinoradeva jaya bhakti vinod Ṭhākura bhakti vinod bhakti vinod jaya bhakti vinod jaya bhakti vinod Ṭhākura bhakti vinod bhakti vinod Ṭhākura bhakti vinod. Let's sing now the. Oh, let's say Shri Mataji is asking if the volume went down. Maybe I turned. Let me move the mic closer to my face. Okay, now hopefully it'll be louder. Oh, I don't have the best setup right now. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hopefully that's better. Okay, now let's sing the Haha Mor Gora Kishore. Where is it? It would be in laid out Goranga. There. Hey, where is it? I skipped it. Sorry, 1 second. Let's just look in the table of contents. Haha Mor Gora Kishore, 272. Okay. Okay. O my youthful Gaur, when will you mercifully reveal yourself to me in the forest of Godrum, O thief of hearts? You are situated inside Ananda Sukara Kunj, with Śrī Gadādhara Paṇḍita at your left. With a golden luster and curly hair, you wear the fine dress of a dancer. As I gaze upon you, Śrī Radha Madhav will appear. Isn't that so beautiful? So Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he's in Ananda Sukara Kunj in Godrum, and Gadādhara Paṇḍita is situated at your left. And we've seen that vigraha of Gadādhara Paṇḍita. That's the YouTube video thumbnail. That's Gadādhara Paṇḍita in Godrum at Swananda Sukara Kunj. So he's praying to that Gadādhara, Gaur Gadādhara. And with a golden luster and curly hair, you wear the fine dress of a dancer. Then as I gaze upon you, O Gaur Gadādhara, Śrī Radha Madhav will appear and brilliantly illuminate the scene. Accompanied by all of their sakhis, they will dance with enchanting garlands adorning their necks. Ananga Manjari, feeling compassion, will take this maidservant by the hand and lovingly offer me to the divine couple. I shall then behold their sweetness to the full satisfaction of my eyes. Ahaha Mor Gora Kishora Ha Mor Gora Kishore Kabe daya kori Śrī Godrumavane kabe daya kori Śrī Godrumavane dekha dibe mana chor দেখা দিবে মন চোর হা হা মোর গৌর কিশোর হা হা মোর গৌর কিশোর আনন্দ সুখদ কুঞ্জের ভিতরে গদাধরে বামে করি আনন্দ সুখদ কুঞ্জের ভিতরে গদাধরে বামে করি অকাঞ্চন বরণ চাচর চেকুর অকাঞ্চন বরণ চাচর চেকুর নটন সুবেশ ধরি নটন সুবেশ ধরি দেখিতে দেখিতে শ্রী রাধা মাধব রূপেতে করিবে আলা দেখিতে দেখিতে শ্রী রাধা মাধব রূপেতে করিবে আলা সখী গণ সঙ্গে করিবে নাটন ও সখী গণ সঙ্গে করিবে নাটন গলেতে মোহন মালা গলেতে মোহন মালা ও হা হা মোর গৌর কিশোর ও হা হা মোর গৌর কিশোর অনঙ্গ মঞ্জরি সদয় হইয়া এ দাসী করে তে ধরে অনঙ্গ মঞ্জরি সদয় হইয়া এ দাসী করে তে ধরি দোহে নিবেদিবে দোহার মাধুরী দোহে নিবেদিবে দোহার মাধুরী হেরিব নয়ন ভরি ও হেরিব নয়ন ভরি হা মোর গৌর কিশোর Bhaktivinoda. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jai Gurudeva, 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 Jai Gurudeva. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Śrī Gadādhara Ju ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki Jai, Jai Śrī Godruma Dvip ki Jai, Jai Śrī Sananda Sukara Kunj ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Oh my God, it's already almost 8 o'clock and we haven't even started the program. Okay, so definitely, I do have to get back to this, like I have to finish writing this thing while they're still awake, this announcement about the Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura retreat. So, but maybe we can read just a little something. Wait, let me turn off this sounds thing. Okay, yeah, maybe we can read a little something for now, and then we'll continue this program again tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. 1 second. Okay, so something I remember, I think we read this at the beginning of our Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura program. It was Srila Goswami Maharaj's, he was explaining how Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, how Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada explained how he revealed how Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is a non-different manifestation of Gadādhara Paṇḍita. And so I have to find it though. God, where is it? Let's see. Is it in here? Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura design. No, I don't see it here. I think I know where it is. It might. I used to use Notion, and I think it would be in here. I think I had a Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura thing in here. Otherwise, another really nice thing to read today is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. How come it's not coming up? That's so weird. It's not loading. Maybe if I close it and open it. Anyways, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he explains to us how to approach the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. And maybe let's read that then. Yeah, okay, let's read that because this Notion is not opening. Notion. Let me just try one last time, and if it doesn't work, then oh, there, it worked. Okay, let's read this. Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. I think it will be the first program we did. Oh God, what the heck? How do I close this? No, I don't want to try meeting notes. Where's the close? It's not giving. This is so frustrating. It's the worst time to do an advertisement. Here. Okay, there. What the heck? Okay, try meeting notes. God, now will he go away? Okay, sorry guys. I should have done this before. As I said, I was not ready. Commencement. I think it was in our first program that we read this from Srila Goswami Maharaj. So it should be here. Open. Open. View site. Expand. There. Okay, God. I haven't used Notion in a long time. Okay, yeah, here it is. The following is an excerpt from Follow the Angels by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Goswami Maharaj. Okay. I wish I could hide this. I don't think I can hide this top part though, so you'll just have to have this like, sorry about that. Okay. The following is, okay, so Srila Goswami Maharaj says, we are warned against thinking that Srila Gurudev has mortal qualities. Prabhupada, in his ideal conduct, has shown this to us. How much earnestness one may have for Gurudev. We have seen this in his practice, in his ways and advice. Like Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj wrote, right? Chira Gora Janashraya Vishwa Gurum, Guru Gora Kishoraka Dasya Param, Paramadhrita Bhakti Vinoda Param. Pranamami Sara Prabhupada Param. So Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is an example of this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was completely awakened within him. Everything for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What high kind of realized conception Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given us. We should not think that he acquired this knowledge in one lifetime. It may seem, from the ordinary events of life, that this was the natural development of Gyan Shunya Bhakti. In his youth, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had some other tendencies. He married twice. Still, that does not negate that he was an eternal servitor of the Lord. Otherwise, such intensity and such depth of feeling cannot come abruptly. Prabhupada saw him as the representation of Gadādhara Paṇḍita. He saw Gaur Kishore as Śrī Gadādhara and Bhaktivinoda Thakur as Gadādhara Paṇḍita. Actually, let me see if I can just move this onto a Word doc. Then we can get rid of this thing on the top. Hey, I want to... Oh, it doesn't let me copy everything. Whatever, let's just continue like this. Gadādhara Paṇḍita disappeared on Amavasya during the dark moon. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also passed away under the same dark moon, the same Amavasya. Prabhupada has written, Gadādhar din dhari payacho gorahari. Prabhupada noted something common to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gadādhara Paṇḍita, that they disappeared on the same day. In this connection, Bhaktivinoda Thakur received the grace of Śrī Gauranga. Bhaktivinoda is a favorite of his. Prabhupada has revealed this. Bhaktivinoda is a favorite of Śrī Gauranga. In another place, he wrote that the eternal pastimes are always going on in Navadvip Dham. Sometimes they are underground, invisible to us, and sometimes on the surface. Nitya Lila always is invisible to us. Now suddenly. Okay, so sometimes they're underground, invisible to us, and sometimes they're on the surface. Now suddenly, these two personalities have come to the surface. Gadādhara Paṇḍita and Śrī Damodar both have come. Śrī Damodar came as Gaur Kishore, and Gadādhara Paṇḍita came as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is not to be given expression in any and every place. This is concealed truth, not to be expressed everywhere and anywhere. This is the fact. They are always here, continuing their own function, their participation in the Leela of Gauranga. Sometimes it is underground, sometimes overground, but it is always difficult to recognize them. Prabhupada wrote, I suddenly found Śrī Damodar as Gaur Kishore and Gadādhara Paṇḍita as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They most graciously gave me that sort of vision. I could see them as two parshads, the eternal companions of Gauranga. I found that. It is mentioned in the conclusion to his Chaitanya Charitamrita Anubhashya. He says, here in Navadvip Dham, the eternal pastimes are going on continuously. Only those who have got that deep vision can perceive it. And then he writes, Gadādhara Mitravara Śrī Sarupa Damodara Sadakala Gora Krishna Jaje Jagatera Deki Klesh Dharja Bhikshuka Vesh Aharaha Krishna Nama Bhaje Shri Gaur Ichai Dui Mahima Ki Kabo Mui Aprakrita Parishada Kata prakata hoiya seve, prakata hoiya seve, Krishna Gora Bhinna Deve, aprakashya kata jatatata. So Prabhupada says, it is very difficult to perceive the sweet will of Sri Gauranga. But if we can lift ourselves to that level, we see that Swarup Damodar Goswami and Śrī Gadādhara Paṇḍita are always engaged in their service here in Navadvip. Sometimes it is suppressed, and sometimes it is appearing on the surface. In that plane, all is going on by the sweet will of Sri Gauranga without any restriction. But now I find that those two have appeared on the surface as Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. I have seen it with my own eye of divine service. But this is not to be advertised, not to be given publicity anywhere. Not to be given publicity anywhere and everywhere. People will laugh at it. But this is my heartfelt conclusion. We are children of a limited soil. We are children of the limited aspect of the world. Many things are impossible for us. We are accustomed to think that everything is impossible. Only that with which I have acquaintance in my little experience is possible. Other things are all impossible. We are trained to think like that. But if we think about the infinite, it is just the opposite. Anything and everything may be possible, bad or good. In the transcendental world, the goodness, the sweetness has no end, and there are different gradations. In this, we have to make advancement, progress. That thought comes, pratyaksha, apratyaksha, adhokshaj, aparoksha, and aprakrit. These are the 5 layers of knowledge. Pratyaksha is where we are awake now. In Paroksha, we consider the sense experience of others as part of our knowledge. Aparoksha is independent of all our experience, and there we faint. That is samadhi. We cannot feel our low environment, but only our personal consciousness in slumber, deep slumber. Only personal consciousness is present without any conception of the environment. And then, by the grace of the higher world, when they take us there, we wonderfully have some experience of the transcendental world. It is by their grace, by their mercy, not as a matter of right. Something we always have to remember. It's not like, this is my right. No, it's we're tatashta. Like, no, it's not. But it's better, but it's by their grace, by their mercy, not as a matter of right. That is the highest stage, aprakrita. And the 5 levels, right, of consciousness, this one is now finally the aprakrita. Very similar to this, my world of experience. But it will hold the highest position of existence and sweetness in every way, harmony and ecstasy. I shall feed you amply. You won't be able to taste it all. Such sweetness is there in an unlimited way. I can say very easily, give up everything you have. What do you have? Nothing. Your experience and the wealth you have, janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, birth, death, old age, and disease, all will pass. They will leave you. They will disappoint you in the next moment. So you have nothing. You have nothing. Give up the attraction for the present environment. Come, jump desperately to come near me, and I shall give you shelter. You will be compensated amply. This is the call of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Mahaprabhu instructed also, he said, give up everything. Take the name of the Lord and prepare yourself to go home. You are not created for trifling in this dishonorable life. Your home is there. You are in the midst of the cremation ground. And if you like, you can go there, to that honorable land. Save yourself from the cremation ground. Save yourself and try to attain your inner fulfillment and the worth of your existence Yeah. Jai. So, and Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he is the one who is, without Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, the path to go there would be a lot more difficult, not clear. There'd be lots of obstacles, but Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he made a very safe, very clear, very direct path to go to that, to our true home. And yeah, he did it. His teachings are so, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura's writings, I mean, it's, as I said, that whole Raise of the Harmonists magazine, every article by each one of our acharyas, starting from Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and then to his prominent associates like, our Srila Bhaktivedanta Keshav Goswami, Srila Bhakti-Rakshak Srila Goswami, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and all these other illustrious acharyas of his, they all, and then our more recent acharyas also, they all are glorifying Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the same way and really emphasizing how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's words are not anything material. They are Satchidananda, and they are and they explain the process of how to enter into those words. Actually, now it's maybe I should start wrapping up the program. I have a few excerpts in my announcement post. Where is it? From Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada on how to approach the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Or actually, maybe we just look at the article directly. If anybody needs to go now, I know it's already past 8 o'clock. So if anybody needs to go, thank you for joining, and we'll be doing another program tomorrow for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But I'm just looking. I think I made this into a. Yes, here it is. A speciality of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Vani. Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He wrote this in English in 1931. I'm not going to read the whole article because I don't think we have time now, but we could just read the beginning part at least. It's very high English. He wrote this in English, and his English is like very difficult for me to understand. But anyways, yeah. So this is from the Harmonist magazine, December 1931, volume 29, number 26. Okay, so he says, his specific kindness to those engrossed in all kinds of mental speculation. So Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he says, we avail of the opportunity offered by the anniversary celebrations of the advent of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda to reflect on the right method of obtaining those benefits that have been made accessible to humanity by the grace of this great devotee of Krishna. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda has been specifically kind to those unfortunate persons who are engrossed in mental speculation of all kinds. This is a prevalent malady of the present age. The other acharyas who appeared before Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda did not address their discourses so directly to the empiric thinkers. Right? Like, if we look at all the other acharyas before Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, Śrīla, Vrindavan Das Thakur, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, all these authors, they were like, if you didn't believe anything, then they weren't really concerned about you. They're like, okay, whatever. Like, they didn't address those who were those people who didn't have any faith. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was so merciful that he directly addressed the empiric thinkers. So those previous acharyas before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they had been more merciful to those who are naturally disposed to listen to discourses on the absolute without being dissuaded by the specious arguments of avowed opponents of Godhead. Srila Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda has taken the trouble of meeting the perverse arguments of mental speculationists by the superior transcendental logic of the absolute truth. It is thus possible for the average modern readers to profit by the perusal of his writings. That day is not far distant when the priceless volumes penned by Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda will be reverentially translated by the recipients of his grace into all the languages of the world. And now that's being done. So many of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's books have been translated by so many devotees into so many languages. And so we can see how happy This makes Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, that these writings of his are being translated. He's directly saying this. And so then if we go to those writings in whatever language they've been translated into, and we read them submissively, we can see here how Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada will be so happy with us. The writings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda provide the golden bridge by which the mental speculationist can safely cross the raging waters of fruitless empiric controversies that trouble the peace of those who choose to trust in their own guidance for finding the truth. As soon as a sympathetic reader is in a position to appreciate the sterling quality of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda's philosophy, the entire vista of the revealed literatures of the world will automatically open out to his reclaimed vision. Wow, so Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur's philosophy, his writings, that's what opens up the world of all of our other Goswami's writings, of all the Chaitanya Charitamrita, of all the books of our Goswamis, like Brihad Bhagavatamrita. But that whole world is revealed through Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur's philosophy. He's like opening the door to all the other literatures. It is not possible to understand the message of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda without securing his guiding grace. There have, however, already arisen serious misunderstandings regarding the proper interpretation of the life and teachings of Srila Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda. Those who suppose they understand the meaning of his message without securing the guiding grace of the Acharya, those people are disposed to unduly favor the methods of empiric study of his writings. They think, yeah, I'll just figure out what he's meaning with my own intellect. No need to submit to the Acharya whose very life has been dedicated to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's words. I can figure it out with my own brain. I don't need help from, you know. So there are persons who have got by heart almost everything that he wrote without being able to catch the least particle of his meaning. Those who've memorized everything from top to bottom, everything that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, without being able to understand the least particle of his meaning. Such study cannot benefit those who are not prepared to act up to the instructions lucidly conveyed by his words. There is no honest chance of missing the warnings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda. Those, therefore, who are misled by the perusal of his writings are led astray by their own obstinate perversity and sticking to the empiric course, which they prefer to cherish against his explicit warnings. Let these unfortunate persons look more carefully into their own hearts for the cause of their misfortunes. The personal service of the pure devotee is essential for understanding the spiritual meaning of the words of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda. The editor of this journal, he's referring to himself, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he's referring to himself, originally started by Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda, has been trying to draw the attention of all followers of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda to this all-important point of his teachings. It is not necessary to try to place ourselves on a footing of equality with Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda. We are not likely to benefit by any mechanical imitation of any practices of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda on the opportunist principle that they may be convenient for us to adopt. The Guru is not an erring mortal whose activities can be understood by the fallible reason of unreclaimed humanity. There is an eternally impassable line of demarcation between the Savior and the saved. Those who are really saved can alone know this. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda belongs to the category of the spiritual world teachers who eternally occupy the superior position, the saviors. We are the saved. We can't forget that. Oh man, I want to just continue reading the rest of this article. Do you mind if I just... Yeah, okay. If anybody also, for those of you here on Zoom, I know I'm going way over time, but if you need to leave now, you can still listen to the rest of this later on YouTube. This is all being live streamed on YouTube. So yeah, if anybody needs to leave now, Dandavat Pranams, thank you so much for joining. I'm going to just continue reading this. I think this is so busy because we've been reading Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura every day, his writings, his songs, and then different books by his for over a year now. But I think the most important thing At least on this day, we should be reminded about, because my tendency is just to try to figure out everything by my brain and like look at it like, I'm looking up words in the dictionary and trying to figure, but just approaching the words with our mind is not, we're reading now how this will delude ourselves if we think that we can figure it out. What Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is saying is with our brains. So it's so important to understand the method, how to approach these words that we're going through every day. The teachings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda cannot be accessed by hearing from someone who is not devoted. The present editor has all along felt it his paramount duty to try to clear up the meaning of the life and teachings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda by the method of submissive listening to the transcendental sounds from the lips of the pure devotee. The Guru who realizes the transcendental meaning of all sounds, he is in a position to serve the Absolute by the direction of the Absolute conveyed through every sound. The transcendental sound is Godhead. The mundane sound is non-Godhead. All sound has got these opposite aptitudes. Transcendental sound is Godhead, mundane sound is non-Godhead. All sound reveals its divine face to the devotee. So all sound reveals its divine face to the devotee and only presents its deluding aspect to the empiric pedant. The devotee talks apparently the same language as the deluded empiric pedant, who had got by heart the vocabulary of the scriptures. But notwithstanding apparent identity of performance, one has no access to the reality, while the other is absolutely free from all delusion. They're speaking the same words, but one is completely deluded and has no access to the words that he's speaking, whereas the other has, the pure devotee is free from any of this kind of delusion. So those who repeat the teachings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda from memory do not necessarily understand the meaning of the words they mechanically repeat. Those who can pass an empiric examination regarding the contents of his writings are not necessarily also realized souls. You might get an A+ on the Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura test, on any course on Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Have all his teachings, you understand it, you can explain all his teachings, summarize it, you can answer all the questions, get, A+. But still, in truth, you've not actually passed the test. They may not at all know the real meaning of the words they have learned by the method of empiric study. Take, for example, the name Krishna. Every reader of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda's works must be aware that the name manifests himself on the lips of his serving devotees, although he is inaccessible to our mundane senses. Right? Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura emphasizes this so much when he talks about Nam Tattva. And that famous verse also, Atashi Krishna Namadi na bhaved graham indriyai. So it is one thing to pass the examination by reproducing this true conclusion from the writings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda, and quite another matter to realize the nature that the holy name of Krishna, so to realize the nature of the holy name of Krishna by the process conveyed by the words. It's one thing to say that Krishna is non-different from his name, and then to actually realize that, oh my God, Krishna is non-different from his name, to actually have direct experience of Krishna by chanting his name. Like having experience, and like somebody who's never, right? An example is given of like somebody who's never eaten a banana before. They might be able to describe, like they read a book what a banana is like. They're like, yes, I can tell you all about bananas. Bananas are soft and they're sweet and they're mushy and blah, blah, blah. But if they've never had any experience of a banana, then what they're saying doesn't really have any weight, because they don't even know what a banana is really like. Can't understand. That's a bad example, because anyways, because this is so much more powerful than like that example. But yeah. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda did not want us to go to the clever mechanical reciter of the mundane sound for obtaining access to the transcendental name of Krishna. Such a person may be fully equipped with all the written arguments and explanation of the nature of the divine name. But if we listen to all these arguments from the dead source, the words will only increase our delusion. The very same words coming from the lips of the devotee will have the diametrically opposite effect. Okay, so they're speaking the same words, but the effect from those words will be diametrically opposite. Our empiric judgment can never grasp the difference between the two performances. The devotee is always right. The non-devotee, in the shape of the empiric pedant, is always and necessarily wrong. In the one case, there's always present the substantive truth, and nothing but the substantive truth. God, I have a hard time saying that word, substantive truth. In the other case, there's present the apparent or misleading hypothesis, and nothing but untruth. The wording may have the same external appearance in both cases. And even further than that, the non-devotee may recite verses from the scriptures identical to the ones recited by the devotee. And the devotee may even apparently misquote something. But the corresponding values of the two processes remain always categorically different. The devotee is right, even when he apparently misquotes. The non-devotee is wrong, even when he quotes correctly the very words, chapter, and verse of the scriptures. That is such a powerful point, isn't it? That doesn't even matter if a Mahabhagavat, a pure devotee, they might, the slip of the tongue, they might misquote something. They might attribute a song of Narottam Das Thakur to Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, or say something, that's might be a little bit like, in that sense, not seeming externally seems right. But what they're saying is right, because the thing about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words is not, it's about living the words. It's not about just understanding with your brain, but it's about actually embodying the word, having those words completely mold, shape who we are. And so those people whose lives who've been completely transformed, who live Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words, everything they say, even if they misquote, is right. And then somebody who has got by heart every verse, every word, they can recite verbatim what Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura wrote. They can give all the correct facts and give all the proper citations and everything. And like externally, it seems everything they're saying is very, according to Siddhanta and right on, but everything they say is wrong and wrong and wrong, because his words it's not a mental thing. It's not an intellectual thing. It's all about how much they shape our life and how much we're living them, and the words. And that's only possible. We only have access to that. We can only begin to follow the words by following those pure devotees who are already living Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words. So the direct, unambiguous appearance of divinity. It is not empiric wisdom that is the object of quest of the devotee. Those who read the scriptures for gathering empiric wisdom will be pursuing a wild goose chase. There are not a few dupes of their empiric scriptural erudition. Not a few, there's many, most people. Sorry, there are many dupes of their empiric scriptural erudition. So many scholars, right? We know so many scholars. And these dupes have their admiring underdupes. Right? All these scholars have all these people, wow, this person has so much knowledge. And so they're also duped. But the mutual admiration society of dupes does not escape, by the mere weight of their number, the misfortunes due to the deliberate pursuit of the wrong course in accordance with the suggestions of our lower selves. Yeah, so just there's so many of them doesn't mean that they're right. And it doesn't negate the misfortunes due to the... Anyway, sorry. Yeah, okay. So what are the scriptures? They are nothing but the record by the pure devotees of the divine message appearing on the lips of the pure devotees. Yeah. The message conveyed by the devotees is the same in all ages. The words of the devotees are ever identical with the scriptures. So that's one thing with these, like sometimes people say that if the words of our acharya, if the words of our acharyas are not in alignment with Shastra, then we should take the Shastric understanding and we should give more prominence to that. I hear that so often. But the thing is, what is Shastra? Shastra is the words of these completely pure Mahabhagavat devotees. Their words are Shastra. And so, what do you mean? Like that it should be in line with Shastra? It is Shastra. It's the same thing. The words of Rupa Goswami, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, is Shastra. And for us, and it depends on our faith. We have, hopefully, we're cultivating complete faith in Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. So if we have full faith in Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, then we would consider his writings to also be Shastra. Jaiva Dharma is Shastra for us. And the message, so the words of the devotees are ever identical with the scriptures. Any meaning of the scriptures that belittles the function of the devotee who is the original communicant of the divine message contradicts its own claim to be heard. Those who think that the Sanskrit language in its lexicographical sense is the language of divinity, they are as deluded as those who hold that the divine message is communicable through any other spoken dialects. All languages, all languages, not just Sanskrit, but French, German, Spanish, English, Russian, all languages. They simultaneously express and hide the absolute. The mundane face of all languages hides the truth, even Sanskrit. The mundane face of Sanskrit, of all languages, hides the truth. And the transcendental face of all sound expresses nothing but the absolute. The pure devotee is the speaker of the transcendental language. The transcendental sound makes his appearance on the lips of his pure devotee. This is the direct, unambiguous appearance of divinity. On the lips of non-devotees, the absolute always appears in his deluding aspect. To the pure devotees, the absolute reveals himself under all circumstances. To the conditioned soul, if he is disposed to listen in a truly submissive spirit, the language of the pure devotee can alone impart the knowledge of the absolute. The conditioned soul mistakes the deluding for the real aspect when he chooses to lend his ear to the non-devotee. This is the reason why the conditioned soul is warned to avoid all association with non-devotees. His teachings demolish the empiric method of approaching the absolute. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda is acknowledged by all his sincere followers as possessing the above powers of the pure devotee of Godhead. His words have to be received from the lips of a pure devotee. If his words are listened to from the lips of a non-devotee, they will certainly deceive. If his works are studied in the light of one's own worldly experience, their meaning will refuse to disclose itself to such readers. The meaning of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words, the meaning will say, no, I'm not going to disclose myself to you. if somebody's just trying to see it all from their own filter, their own worldly experience, the meaning will refuse to disclose itself to such readers. His works belong to the class of the eternal, revealed literature of the world, and must be approached for their right understanding through their exposition by the pure devotee. If no help from the pure devotee is sought, the works of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda will be grossly misunderstood by their readers. The attentive reader of those works will find that he is always directed to throw himself upon the mercy of the pure devotee if he is not to remain unwarrantably self-satisfied by the deluding results of his wrong method of study. So Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is always emphasizing this point, right? In his words. If you're reading his words and you are ignoring this point, they'll find that he is, in his words, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura is always directing the reader to throw himself upon the mercy of the pure devotee. And so if you read those words and you just ignore that, then how will there be any auspiciousness in your reading? I mean. The writings of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda are valuable because they demolish all empiric objections against accepting the only method of approaching the Absolute in the right way. There's only one method of approaching the Absolute in the right way. They cannot and were never intended to give access to the Absolute without help from the pure devotee of Krishna. They direct the sincere inquirer of the truth, as all revealed scriptures do, to the pure devotee of Krishna, to learn about him by submitting to listen with an open mind to the transcendental sounds appearing on his lips. Before we open any of the books penned by Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda, we would do well to reflect a little on the attitude with which, as the indispensable prerequisite to approach its study. It is by neglecting to remember this fundamental principle that the empiric pedants find themselves so helplessly puzzled in their vain endeavor to reconcile the statements of the different texts of the scriptures. The same difficulty is already in the process of overtaking many of the so-called followers of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda for the same reason. And we see that happening today, big time. That's why Sundar Gopal Prabhu, his course, which I'm going to show at the end of this program, is all based on defending the teachings of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura from these people who are so-called followers, who say that they are in the line of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, and they're speaking against Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's teachings. And so we'll see that soon. Only the Absolute can give himself. The person to whom the Acharya is pleased to transmit his power is alone in a position to convey the divine message. This constitutes the underlying principle of the line of succession of spiritual teachers. The Acharya thus authorized has no other duty than that of delivering intact the message received from all his predecessors. There is no difference between the pronouncements of one Acharya and another. All of them are perfect mediums for the appearance of the divinity in the form of the transcendental name, who is identical with his form, quality, activity, and paraphernalia. The divinity is absolute knowledge. Absolute knowledge has the characteristics of indivisible unity. One particle of absolute knowledge is capable of revealing all the potency of the divinity. One particle of absolute knowledge. We just have to have experience, just understand one sentence of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, and then that will reveal everything else. That will reveal all the potency of the divinity. Those who want to understand the contents of the volumes penned by the piecemeal acquisitive method, applicable to diluting knowledge available to the mind on the mundane plane, they are bound to be self-deceived. Those who are sincere seekers of the truth, they are alone eligible to find him in and through the proper method of his quest. In order to be put on the track of the Absolute, listening to the words of the pure devotee is absolutely necessary. The spoken word of the Absolute is the Absolute. It is only the Absolute who can give himself away to the constituents of his power. The Absolute appears to the listening ear of the conditioned soul in the form of the name on the lips of the sadhu. This is the key to the whole position. The words of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda direct the empiric pedant to discard his wrong method and inclination on the threshold of the real quest of the Absolute. If the pedant still chooses to carry his heirs into the realm of the absolute truth, he only marches by a deceptive bypath into the regions of darker ignorance by his arrogant study of the scriptures. So rather than going on the path up towards the absolute truth, he's going on a completely different path that leads down to the darker regions of ignorance through Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words. So those same words, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's words, can either lead one up or it could lead one down. It can either bring one full enlightenment and experience and direct perception, or it could delude one. Those Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's same words. The method offered by Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda is identical with the object of the quest. The method is not really grasped except by the grace of the pure devotee. The arguments indeed are these, but they can only be corroborate, but can never be a substitute for the word from the living source of the truth, who is none other than the pure devotee of Krishna, the concrete personal absolute. Okay, this is the we're like very close to the end. His greatest gift, I think we'll finish in like 2 minutes. So his greatest gift. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinod's greatest gift to the world consists in this. He has brought about the appearance of those pure devotees who are, at present, carrying on the movement of unalloyed devotion to the feet of Sri Krishna by their whole time spiritual service of the divinity. The purity of the soul is only, I always forget how to say this word, analogously describable by the resources of the mundane language. Yeah, the purity of the soul. We can't understand it by any other way but by imperfect analogies, right? Because there's no mundane language to describe it. And so that's why we have to like compare Krishna to the sun and like all these other things, how just with mundane analogies, which are very limited and very incomplete, but there's no other way to. The highest ideal of empiric morality is no better than the grossest wickedness to the transcendental perfect purity of the bona fide devotee of the Absolute. The word morality itself is a mischievous misnomer when it is applied to any quality of the conditioned soul. The hypocritical contentment with a negative attitude is part and parcel of the principle of undiluted immorality. Those who pretend to recognize the divine mission of Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda without aspiring for the unconditional service of those pure souls who really follow the teachings of the Ṭhākura by the method enjoined by the scriptures and explained by Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda in a way that is so eminently suited to the requirements of the sophisticated mentality of the present age, they only deceive themselves and their willing victims by their hypocritical professions and performances. These persons must not be confounded with the bona fide members of the flock. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda, his prediction, the religious unity of the world. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda has predicted the consummation of religious unity of the world by the appearance of the only universal church which bears the eternal designation of the Brahma Sampradaya. He has given mankind the blessed assurance that all theistic churches will shortly merge in the one eternal spiritual community by the grace of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. The spiritual community is not circumscribed by the conditions of time and space, race and nationality. Mankind had been looking forward to this far-off divine event through the long ages. Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda has made the conception available in its practical spiritual form to the open-minded empiricist who is prepared to undergo the process of enlightenment. The keystone of the arch has been laid. The keystone of the arch has been laid, which will afford the needed shelter to all awakened animation under its ample encircling arms. Those who would thoughtlessly allow their hollow pride of race, pseudo-knowledge, or pseudo-virtue to stand in the way of this long-hoped-for consummation would have to thank only themselves for not being incorporated into the spiritual society of all pure souls. These plain words need not be misrepresented by arrogant persons who are full of the vanity of empiric ignorance as the pronouncements of aggressive sectarianism. The aggressive pronouncement of the concrete truth is the crying necessity of the moment for silencing the aggressive propaganda of specific untruths that is being carried on all over the world by preachers of the empiric contrivances for the amelioration of the hard lot of conditioned souls, for the betterment of the hard lot of conditioned souls. The empiric propaganda clothes itself in the language of negative abstraction for deluding those who are engrossed in the selfish pursuit of worldly enjoyment. But there is a positive and concrete function of the pure soul, which should not be perversely confounded with any utilitarian form of worldly activity. Mankind stands in need of that positive spiritual function of which the hypocritical impersonalists are in absolute ignorance. The positive function of the soul harmonizes the claims of extreme selfishness with those of extreme self-abnegation in the society of pure souls, even in this mundane world. In its concrete, realizable form, the function is perfectly inaccessible to the empiric understanding. Its imperfect and misleading conception alone is available by the study of the scriptures to the conditioned soul that is not helped by the causeless grace of the pure devotees of Godhead. So this is published in Rays of the Harmonist, Volume 2, Number 2, Kartik 1998. And also it's also in this Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura edition that I showed before, 2014. Sorry, I went a bit fast there at the end because it's very late. But if anybody wants, I made this article into an ebook so that you could read it nicely on your phone and on your Kindle or on your computer, and you can change the text size and like it's e-reader, EPUB format. If anybody wants it, I can send it to you. Yeah, actually, I think you can also find it on raysoftheharmonist.com. Just go to raysoftheharmonist.com. There, yeah, raysoftheharmonist.com. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, it's right here. And here you will find also that EPUB, I think. Hopefully. Did I give it? Oh, shoot, I didn't add it. I should add that there. Anyways, yeah. All right. So that's our program for today. Oh my God, it's 8:46. Okay. Just end very quickly. And then I'm going to do Jayadvani. And if anybody wants to know more details, I'll tell the details of the seminar that we're doing at the retreat that we're doing after. जय श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय श्री परम गुरुदेव की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री रूपानु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय सब पातशाह जी गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीगान की जय श्री गौर गदाधर जू की जय श्री गदाधर पंडित की जय तदीय शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि की जय जय श्री श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय सप्तन गोस्वामी भक्ति भगीरथी श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय तदीय शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि की जय all the writings of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai, jai, Shri, and all those following in his dhara ki jai. Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Shri Harinam Mahamantra ki jai, Shri Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's Harinam Chintamani and Bhajana Hasya ki jai. All his writings on Nam Tattva ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavascha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Champak Mataji, Anari Krishna Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, Rasapriya Didi, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Vidyalalasa Didi, Jayadev Prabhu, and so many other devotees are there. Dandavat pranams. I'm guessing Indira Mataji, and I don't know who's there, but Dandavat pranams, and also pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu is here with us live now. What is it? Revati Didi, and anybody else? Dandavat pranams. So tomorrow we will continue reading about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, his glories. All right. So now the thing I wanted to show you about our program. This is still a rough draft. In WhatsApp now, there's a bunch of messages with suggestions how I should change it, but just wanted to show you quickly the details. But yeah, what I'm reading right now is going to change probably a bit. I'm going to send this out on my mailing list, vineofdevotion.com. So if you want to, I write a little thing kind of based on what we just read now, about the method to approach Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's teachings. And then I say, okay, so in this spirit, I'm happy to make a first unofficial announcement. An invitation to the Rupa Sanatana Academy Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura retreat in Śrī Gadādhara in 2026. We are excited to announce the first in-person retreat in India by Rupa Sanatana Academy, dedicated entirely to the teachings of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. This is a humble endeavor by a small group of devotees to please our Guru Varga. Our aim is to create a dedicated space, right in his own home of Godrumadweep, for deep, uninterrupted engagement with his teachings. We hope this experience will leave a lasting impression, helping his nourishing guidance take deeper root in our hearts and lives. After reading that article, I'm seeing already things that I want to change here. Okay, retreat details. We are still in the planning stages, but we want to share the vision with you now. To receive the official announcement and full details when they are ready, please click here. And so I'm going to make a form so that you can click there and enter your email so that when we have the full details. So check back on my website, vineofdevotion.com. Check back a bit later to get the link so that you can give your email and then you'll be updated with the official announcement and all the details and all that. So what? A 5-day immersive retreat on the teachings of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. When? It is from February 15 to 21, 2026. So that's concluding, it concludes just before Navadvip Parikrama. So yeah, just before Navadvip Parikrama. And where? It will be, hopefully, we're still working it out, but it will be hopefully in Surabi Kunj. So Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's own home in Godrum, Surabi Kunj. They have accommodations, prasad, everything, and all the artis. Can you imagine that? Where Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura himself lived, we'll all be living in that same exact spot. Yeah, accommodations and prasad will be arranged for all participants. So the morning courses our morning will be centered around these 3 foundational courses. The first one is Sundar Gopal's. The title of it is Protecting Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's Legacy. Is Prem foreign to the self? Drawing on 5 years of doctoral research, this interactive seminar series offers a robust defense of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's teaching that Prem is the intrinsic nature of the self, challenging claims that this was merely metaphorical or an outreach strategy. Presenting new research findings, the series highlights how Ṭhākura Bhaktivinoda provides a profound and faithful synthesis of the earlier acharyas. And then the next program is, the one I'll be heading is, I'm just calling it Bhaktivinoda Gititara, entering the flow of his songs. So in this series, we'll explore the moods and meanings within Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's 4 essential songbooks, Kalyana Kalpataru, Sharnagati, Gitavali, and Gitamala. And then Dashmula Shiksha, we need to come up with a title for this, with Chandramukhi Dasi. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura masterfully condensed the vast ocean of Lord Chaitanya's philosophy into 10 core principles. Understanding this framework helps us locate ourselves within the grand tapestry of Mahaprabhu's teachings in everything we hear, speak, and study. Additional workshops led by Manjari Dasi, by Radhika Ahuja, and other guest speakers will be announced soon. And the evenings will be dedicated, so that's the morning. Then the evenings will be dedicated to singing the songs of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, followed by a group seminar with details about the topics and speakers coming soon. Each evening will conclude with Arati and Kirtan. Well, actually, all the Aratis will be there. Mangal Arati, Noon Arati, and Evening Arati will all be there in Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's place there. And so this retreat is for anyone who wishes to dive deeper into the current of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's teachings. If this program sounds attractive to you, we warmly invite you to join us. Please sign up here to share your email, and the Rupa Sanatana Academy will send you the full details as soon as they are officially announced. So yeah, you can come back to my website, vineofdevotion.com. I'll be sending it out soon. I just need to add in all the feedback that they're sending right now on WhatsApp. And yeah, then you will be in the loop. Yeah, I hope some of you will be able to join. Yeah, you could also let me know on WhatsApp if you want, if you'd like to come and if you think it might be possible. Yeah, remember it's from February 15th to the 21st. So 5 days. All right, Dandavat Pranams. Oh, I didn't sing Mahamantra. I forgot that. Okay, I'll just do quick Mahamantra. I always have to end with Mahamantra. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Yeah. I'm thinking with the Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura program, we'll go through the books in the morning time and then sing the songs in the evening time. So yeah. And then the evening time, I mean, it's not like it's going to be structured and everything like that, but um, at least my idea, but we're still figuring everything out. But it's going to be kind of like the Rupa Goswami conference, but instead of it, Rupa Goswami, it's going to be like of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. So we'll have many different speakers who will be speaking on different topics related to Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Sometimes his teaching, sometimes his glories. That will be the evening program, I think. And we also wanted to make it the program very like interactive and engaging so that it's not just like you're just sitting there passively listening to everything, but we want to try to make it interactive so that you're engaging with it. That's why Manjari, she should probably be doing like a writing workshop so that we can write down what we've been understanding and maybe some kind of, I don't know, we're trying to think of how to make it really engaging and interactive. So it's not just like a normal, somebody's sitting there and you're just listening the whole time. And then, okay, next program. And yeah, we don't want to make it a passive program. All right. Okay. Pranams, is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream for today? All right. See you all tomorrow to continue this program in honor of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura and Gadādhara Paṇḍita. Jai Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai, Jai Śrī Gadādhara Paṇḍita ki jai, Śrī Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Śrī Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari